Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Jalen Says. And today we're with David Nixon Jr. How are you today, sir?
What's going on, Jalen? Thanks for having me, man. Feeling pretty good, enjoying my day. Just another day, another blessing.
Nice. So, can you tell the audience a little bit of the stuff you do? We know you're director, producer, and all that incredible stuff.
Yeah. So, David Nixon Jr. I'm a director, executive producer. I'm also writing edit as well, but primarily a director, and I do like produce a lot of my own content. So,
Nice. So, I'm in one of your very recent movies. It's coming out very soon called Lumps. And what was the idea behind it?
uh, well, it was an idea generated out of just past experiences, knowing what it's like to grow up as a young man who's just moving to a new city, new state, and who's just trying to become acclimated to his new environment and find out who he is in the process and make mistakes and learn make new friends, learn who not to listen to, and when you're at that age and you find yourself placed in a new environment in the middle of the school year as a kid, as adolescents, one of the things you're either going to do is you're either going to quickly remove yourself, or you're going to try to find a way to fit in
Yeah.
order to just uh, make yourself more comfortable to your new surroundings. So, but yeah, I mean, that was the idea behind it, and I really enjoyed working with you as the lead for the project. How did you enjoy working on it?
I really liked it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. We had a great time.
Yeah.
Learned a lot, experienced a lot, and we put in the work, man. We definitely put in the work.
Yes. So you created many movies. So what was your inspiration behind your first one?
My first short film, I don't know. I think the first short film I ever really did was a silent film. I had to do. I'm a graduate student at Savannah College of Art and Design, SCAD here in Atlanta. And the very first class I took was 501, and I had to do a short film for a class, like a silent short film. Um, yeah, I guess you could say it's my first short film. I did a couple of videos like that for my job when I worked for the Child Support Bureau in Indiana. And those ideas were really just fueled by just the job requirements. I was in the communication training unit, and we put together a lot of videos to train like state workers on child support compliance, born stuff. But those are I had that's what inspired those short films. With the first one I did when I was in film school was called Keys to Life. It was about a woman after being abused by her drunken boyfriend, sneaking
Mhm.
around him while he sleep on the couch to steal the keys and then pack her bags and leave. So it was a silent film. I'm just proud of it. It's my first one of that ilk per se. So yeah.
Nice. So do you have any other films in mind?
Well, I did a film called Behind Bars. I'm a director and editor for that. It released in 2019. It was about a recent divorcee and drunken lawyers at a bar. And the bartender was actually the one helping him realize the flaws in his ways of trying to submerge his pain in alcohol. And it comes to find out that the bartender really lost a close family member of his own due to alcoholism, and it's more so like a guardian angel as a bar owner, more so than someone's just there to serve you drinks. So that was a short film I did. I mean, it screened at Real Recovery Film Festival 2019 in North Hollywood. Liam NoHo Theater or something like that. So that was a piece of work I'm proud of. I did another film called Insomniac. That was another short film for class. It's about a man who uh, had a hard time sleeping and was being hypnotized by a hypnotist over the loss of his wife.
Mm.
It's cool. It's on my website, dnixonjr.com. That's like some of my earliest stuff. I'm proud of it, but it was a very I learned experience and visually it was visually a strong piece. And I had a lot of, I believe, strong talent on that project as well.
Nice. So, what was your most funny time on set?
The most fun time on set?
Mm-hmm. Or funny?
Funny. Mm. I think probably one of the most fun times I ever had on set was when the last project me and you worked on. The day where, I mean, it was days where, it was tough, but I don't know, maybe like the day we had like the scene we shot with the bus in the prison, the third day. Yeah, yeah. And then probably the last day were two of my most fun days, especially when we were trying to get those last shots when you're doing the rap scene at the very end. Like
Uh,
that was a lot of fun. And like the hallway scenes after your character gets, decked by the girl. Those were fun. But I mean, I would say that was definitely some of the most fun I ever had on set. Another time I had a good time, I did a music video for this artist in Cairo. And we had like a mini concert scene. Um, and that was really dope too, man. We had, a bunch of his friends and associates and supporters of his music come out. His manager, produced that. And we got a small venue and we had like a band perform his music to his performance. Yeah, and we filmed it, man. It was a music video. We had a lead actress in it. It was cool, man. That was a lot of fun. And I'll name one more. I used to do rap ciphers in Indianapolis. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, and I was just doing the hip hop scene. I used to like direct and produce alongside a talented filmmaker, Jay Cuber, and we would like make these hip hop rap ciphers for this artist named Distinct. It was his idea. He created it. A lot of like local talent would come out, and we would just film, man, and that was like a lot of fun, like filming those local hip hop acts. Um, as far as funny, man, I can't think of a time on set that was just I was just dying laughing. It was just so funny, I couldn't believe it. I have to like, oh, there was this one project. I don't remember the project, but I was in this project last year, and this is before the coronavirus occurred. And one of the actresses, she was like, she got lost or caught up in like situation of some of the sort, or she got because she wasn't from here and she got lost on the way to find the set location,
yeah.
and um, and she was just really confused. And I know it sounds bad, but if the context is a lot more funny than what I'm letting on. But that was the funniest moment I ever had on set with us trying to help her find her way. I know it's like, you laughing at someone because they're lost, blah blah blah, but just the way it happened and the context and everything, it was really it was so funny. But but yeah, that's probably the funniest moment I ever had on set.
Nice. Nice. So, do you have any more ideas for any other films?
Any more ideas for any of the films? I've kind of been thinking about doing a film for a character that is like you love him, but he's his own worst enemy. You
Mm,
know, or like a character who's a good guy but does bad things in order to like provide for himself or his family.
yeah.
Something edgy like that, like something that's like inspired by the movie Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler, something of that sort, but maybe have a psychological twist to it, like maybe like a Christopher Nolan kind of psychological twist to it, but with a character um, that he's his own worst enemy, but yet you love him. So that's an idea I've been thinking about. I have not, you know, had any concrete ideas that I'm going to run off with, but that's kind of like what I'm feeling
Nice.
right now.
Nice. Nice. So, what basically made you want to start filming and directing and editing?
Um, well, it was a process. It didn't happen overnight. I guess you could say I made my decision to be a filmmaker overnight, but me coming to that realization didn't happen overnight. But it started with me really, I went to Ski University. Shout out to my alma mater for undergrad, and I would see a couple.
It started
With me really, I went to Ski University. Shout out to my alma mater for undergrad, and I
Oh,
was
sorry. Something happened. I like, but okay, okay. Well,
Well, I can answer the question again.
Yeah, I like a little bit. Can you answer it again?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, so starting, I was an undergrad, attending my alma mater, Tuskegee University, and there were a couple of students who like were into like the film thing, but they were more into like photography wise, and every now and then they'd shoot a couple of videos here and there. One's name was Roshan Hall. He was like into the photography thing, and he would also do like videography work around around campus. And I just thought, I just thought he made it look dope, man. But I wasn't really into really filmmaking at the time. Like, there was a couple other videographers, my homeboys, The Haven, or what I'm saying, DJ Costo out here in Atlanta, Georgia. He did videography work. I mean, like they would do work, and I think it'd be dope. But when I would see their work, I would think, man, like it would create images in my own mind of videos that I could probably do. And then I remember around the time when this IG dropped, and it was just on it was just on Apple at the time, But when the Android version finally came out, I got it from my, I like some Boost Mobile smartphone, or whatever. And I posted a couple just random photos, and I decided, I'm gonna start posting like photos I thought were dope. You know what I mean? Things I thought were visually gripping. So
Yeah.
I was inspired by fashion at the time, and I would just like post dope photos of my outfits that I thought told stories. And I would like, I would have random people like direct the photos I would take. So I'd come up with an idea. I'd ask some random person to hold the camera like this. I'm gonna stand here, take the photo, boom. They take it and I edit the photo. It'd be that kind of thing. But as time went on, I ended up, I kind of got more into it. I was in marketing. I was a marketing major. Started working for the Tuskegee University marketing department, and I was a photojournalist. So I wrote, news articles for the school, and I would take like these artsy photos that would drive the videographer of the school crazy. But you know, along the way, I became acclimated with it, and so yeah, I mean, along there between like me just posting what I thought was like dope content on Instagram, and like me being like a photojournalist for the school, it was kind of one of those things. It was kind of like a natural evolution in the wannabe film because I saw myself not wanting to continue to like chase stories the way you have to do in like news and journalism, but to rather like create a world within the atmosphere through the medium of camera and film and photography. So yeah, so that I mean from there, I'm also talented in music. I'm also talented in drawing. I want to think of an art form that I can combine all of those talents together. And I just came to the realization that I think film is the direction I want to go in. So yeah, that's kind of how I came to it, man. Um, so
Nice. So, what was your favorite movie watching as a child?
um, my favorite movie as a child growing up watching was Forrest Gump. That's my favorite movie. Um, Also, I used to enjoy watching Jingle All the Way. Like me and my cousins, my brother, like we watched Jingle All the Way like all the time. Knew the whole movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad were like hilarious. Then I also watched The Godfather with my mother. Whenever it'd be on, there'd be some shows movies um, she'd always watch. But I think Forrest Gump was one of the movies that whenever it came on, she'd make the announcement. Forrest Gump is on. Blah, blah, blah. And we would always watch it as a family. So I'd say that movie, yeah, definitely Jingle All the Way. I used to remember Shrek. I used to watch Shrek over and over again. It came out when I was 9. I like remember the whole movie by heart. I used to recite the characters' voices that whole 9. So I'd say those 3 movies I used to love, really enjoy watching growing up. Well, 3 or 4 movies.
Nice. Nice. So, how was your life like growing up?
Um, it was cool, man. It was, I think my mother did a fantastic job raising me and really creating an environment that allowed me to be a kid and not, force me to grow up too fast. My parents, my father was in the army. I was in my younger years, so we moved around a lot from Georgia to Washington, Tennessee, and I ended up moving to Indianapolis with my mother and my sister. And, we were close to the family then, like I said, from Indianapolis, Indiana. And that was pleasant, man. I was around, my uncles and older cousins and aunts. And it just really allowed me to really grow up my family in a way that I hadn't had, the opportunity previously, and I'm definitely blessed for that. I'm definitely thankful for that too.
Yeah.
To be able to experience that. To be honest with you.
So did you play any sports as a kid?
Yeah, man, I was on the track team. I played basketball here and there. I played freshman ball, but I always thought I was a better player than I ended up being in basketball high school. But I always didn't have the confidence. I would always be in my head too much and think too much. But I played ball growing up, and then I ran track. I did high jump. I won. I was a city champ in high jump, 2009. Yeah, so I did sports, did baseball, and I was like 7, 8. I skateboarded. I consider it a sport. Skateboarded growing up. Yeah, so yeah, for sure.
So did you make any dunks?
Yeah, I did. I was playing in a church league, and I was like almost 16, 17. And the game had just started, and I think I laid the ball up or something like that. The game had just started. We got the board. We got the tip. Took it, laid the ball up, and I was still playing on defense. And the opposing player was about to inbound the ball,
Hmm.
but the player he and his teammate who he inbound the ball to, I was still playing defense behind him. So I telegraphed the pass. I stole the pass and went up. And right before I went up to dunk, they both like came in on me to try to defend. I
Hmm.
like dunked it in the game on two people. Everybody went crazy. It was nuts, man. It was like, oh, I went hype. I punched the ball into the wall so hype I couldn't believe it. It just happened. It happened so quick. And
Nice.
the ref, he was hating me. What I'm saying, he gave me a technical foul. He was hating. But yeah, man, that was crazy, man. The whole gym erupted. We ended up losing that game, so
Hmm.
whatever. But man, I'll never forget that, man. It was just so funny. It was crazy. But yeah, that's the time I dunked in the game.
Did you get MVP?
No, I didn't get MVP. But I like to think that when I was able to play, I contributed to our team as best as I could. I think I was one of the better players. But no MVP awards.
So do you play any sports now?
Not as much as I used to. I mean, I'll pick up basketball every now and then, with some family and friends. But for the most part, I would love to play football again. That's not something that I know a lot of adult males are doing. But I mean, I'd love to play football again. Just me and a couple fellas hit the park, man, and just go at it, man. Play some football, touch, I guess, or flag, whatever it might be. Um, I'm down for the physicality, but just to play, football again, I think that'd be dope.
Nice. We have one comment. I like Mr. Nixon's jacket. Is it Tommy Hilfiger?
Oh, thank you. Is it Betty? Thank you, Betty. No, it's not. It's I don't know, it's some brand from China. I just Googled double-breasted blazer, and it came up. And I was like, oh, that's dope. And I just it's a random website from some foreign company based out of China. I don't know the name, but thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
What is your favorite jacket?
What's my favorite jacket?
Yes.
I don't know. I like bombers and parkas. I mean, like double-breasted jackets like this really fly. Um, but I mean, if I'm gonna pick a jacket to wear, it's probably gonna be like a bomber, or like I said, I got this army green parka I wear a lot during the fall and winter seasons that not rock, but I guess a bomber or nice sleek double-breasted blazer such as this one. Get the job done.
Nice, nice, nice. And you also have a Nixon watch. Right?
Yeah, Nixon brand watch. It's cool. David Nixon brand watch. Makes sense.
Nixon with the Nixon.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was cool. It reminded me like an '80s watch, like some off of like like Paid in Full or something like that. They used to they used to drive the old 1980s BMWs with the gold. Um, I don't know necessarily. I have to look up the type of watch this is, but it's a certain kind of brand. I need another one. But yeah.
Nice. So what are your hobbies?
Well, I chill a lot, man. I relax a lot. I try to read more often these days as a hobby. Um, I watch a lot of YouTube. I consume a lot of content. via the video screen. But I mean, every now and then I'll paint. Every now and then I'll paint.
Nice.
I try to work out here and there. Uh, I love to play a drum set when I can. But I don't have access to a drum set like that right now. But yeah, I play drums for my church, Blessed Hope Baptist Church, in Naples, Indiana, for like a decade. I'm trying to teach myself how to play piano over here through YouTube. So I'm learning for Elise and the Moonlight Sonata. I've heard you do your thing though, man. You're real nice with it, bro.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, but YouTube's a
Yeah.
great source. I'll tell you some channels to find some good stuff.
Right, because I mean they have the videos the demonstration videos where you can the keys light up
Yeah,
when you press them. Yeah, all I do is slow the speed down like
yeah,
25%.
yeah.
Like one
I see like these hard pieces, and I'm like, I could do this. Yeah, I really like this piece. Then I see the video, and it's like, let me slow that down to 0.01.
Yeah, yeah, and just watch it slow. Yeah, man, definitely, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. So you said you like reading books. What's your favorite book?
I don't have a favorite book to be honest with you. I don't know. I've been reading Malcolm X's book, autobiography of Malcolm X, for the last 8 years. And I've been sadly, but I read that book from time to time. I really do. I go through these spurts where I read a lot of pages, and I go through spurts where I don't read much of it at all. But every time I've picked up the book, I've liked that I've been able to read that book over several different phases of my life,
Hmm.
and I like them reading it now because I can understand the content and his perspective a little bit more, especially now I'm more mature. Um, that's a book that I'm reading that I enjoy. I'm also reading the 48 Laws of Power. I pick it up and read a chapter or two here and there. I'm like on chapter 20 right now. I think that's a good book to read from time to time because it has a lot to do with how to interact with not only people in the environment on a personal level, but I think a lot of it has to do with how you interact with professionals on a business level too. I think it contains a lot of profound business acumen as far as how to like carry yourself to achieve your desired result professionally. Um, let's see another book. When I was a kid, one of my favorite books to read was, Three and Eggs and Ham growing up. Those Dr. Seuss books, Cat in the Hat. But as an adult, as a child, Clifford, I know it's corny, but whatever. But as an adult, definitely autobiography of Malcolm X. Um, I'm also reading like Spike Lee's book on the production, how they ended up making that on the Malcolm X film by Spike Lee. I'm reading that right now and enjoying that as well. It's like 48 Hours of Power is something I'm always reading. But those I would say 48 Hours of Power and Malcolm X. I wouldn't say they're my favorite books. Those are the ones I'm reading that have my attention right now. But there are some other books I want to get into. Like The Count of Monte Cristo, which is like, I mean, it's so thick. I got it over there on my shelf right now. Um, I remember a book I enjoyed reading in film school was Save the Cat. Like that was a book that I really enjoyed reading because I feel like it did an effective job of really breaking down films as we know it, or like bringing down some common structures that you typically see in modern day cinema and past as well. I thought the author did a really good job at really articulating and making it simple for the viewer to understand, comprehend. I read another book. It's by David Mamet. I think it's the art of directing. I think or how to be a director. I don't. I have to read it again. I believe that's the title of the book. Don't quote me. Um, but yeah, those are just some books. And another book I want to read. I bought this poetry book by Maya Angelou, and I want to read. I want to read that. And I also bought a Robert Frost book. So I know that's what my favorite book is, but these are just some of the books that I've purchased. That I want to do a better job at really um, devoting one of my time into. Because I think they're always very interesting perspectives. And then as a filmmaker, a director, you know, you want to be well read, and at least I personally think so. And you want to be someone who can, you know, because I mean, as a director, you get to read a lot of scripts and you read a lot of stories. So being able to develop a habit for being well read and reading a lot of content, I think, is a strong skill to have. So.
Nice. Great book choices.
Thank you.
Now, what advice would you give me or anyone else with the film industry?
I would say, you know, the cliche of work hard, you know, have a vision. But I think positioning has a lot to do with success in the film industry. I think where you position yourself and where you're located, just I think it just plays a part. Like I think, you know, you're very talented as a young actor, but I think you being located in Atlanta gives you advantages that another young actor that lives in Oklahoma might not have. You know, it gives you quicker access to the movers and shakers of where things are happening. I think positioning and knowing the right people plays a huge factor in one's success. I would say for you, continue to do events like these, putting yourself out there, continue to work on in projects on the scale of what you've worked on. Being a lead in my film, I think was a great experience for you because it allowed you because that was your first time meeting a leading role for something, right?
Hmm?
Or am I wrong? Was that your first leading role, the film you did? I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure you learned something from that role. Like I'm sure you picked up something and helped develop your skills, even though it wasn't like a big budget film. You know, it was something that allows you to keep your skills sharp and challenge yourself. So I would say, continue to work on projects. No projects too big or projects too small. That just help you keep your skills sharp and allow you to be around people that challenge you. You know, surround yourself with people who are better than you. Who are constantly inspiring you to elevate and continue to work on your craft on a day in day out basis. So that'd be my advice. And there's a whole what's the title of the? So I'm seeing um, these uh these questions as well.
Yeah.
So it says,
So,
what's the title? Of it? Mhm.
the Spike Lee book.
Um, it is. Oh, it's called By Any Means Necessary. Spike Lee, By Any Means Necessary. It's a play-by-play. You can find it on Spike Lee's website. If you go to his website, 40acresandamulefilmworks.com, I think. Um, it's on his website. That's where I bought it from. And then he like personally signed, he probably personally autographs the book.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I just noticed your ginormous bookshelf in the back. You're
Yeah, it's
reading the
not.
book, it's not like some stuff that billionaires do. Yeah, look at my giant wall of books, my whole library.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's a little. It's modest. I would say it's a giant one, but I think it contains some good reads that I think are formative from everyday life to fantasy to filmmaking, my craft. So nice little range, and then there is a devotional I read often called "The Kingdom Man" by Tony Evans. I think that's a good read for myself as a young man. I understand what God's place He has for me as a the head of a household and as a leader and things like that. Help me stay spiritually grounded. So yeah, that's another book I would say that's a good read as
So, do you have an interest in poetry?
well. Not really, but that's why I'm trying to read more poetry. I mean, I'm interested in learning more about it.
So, what is your favorite poem?
I don't have one. I don't have one. I mean, one of these Maya Angelou poems, uh, at the start of it, I thought was really interesting. I don't know the name of it, but um, referred to a woman who would be seeing who would be like who would see these men, and she was a quote unquote side chick or whatever. And she talked about how these men would compliment her, but still they went back to their wives. And I thought it was very insightful, and also I thought it was a realization that I feel like a lot of women could either have come to or will come to, and knowing your worth and knowing your value, and knowing how to understand, that yeah, people can compliment you, but who they really see you in your who they see you as in their eyes,
Yeah.
and their eyes should be important as far as how you see yourself as well, if I'm making sense. Um, but that's a nice poem that I think that stuck with me. I think it stuck with me because you want to. People will always gas you up and say this and oh, you're all this, you're all that, but it's important to understand who you are, understand what your worth is, and then not allow yourself to be temporarily used for someone else's satisfaction when they actually value something else, or they don't value the way you should be valued. I put it that way. Maybe the way to put it. But I think it's called instill or something like that. I don't know. Um, I also got this book from Robert Frost, and it's poetry from Robert Frost, and I would say Robert Frost's poems. I have to read them several times. Just the way he uses his words to communicate messages and images, and I think that's good because it challenges me as a reader. Um, and you should be challenged as a reader. You don't want to read a bunch of books and articles that don't challenge you or force you to look deeper into what the message is. You always want your mind to be able to, mind's a muscle. If you're not working it out, how is it expanding? How are you creating new neurological pathways to develop more ideas and more and a stronger and a ability to critically think and assess problems, situations, outcomes, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So
Do you
that's my take on poetry.
you have an interest in acting?
No, not really. No, kind of. I admire actors, but to have to act all day long, like how you were doing, I don't know if I want to do that. It was a full day and you were doing your thing. Um, you know, uh, I no, but I mean, I do this weird thing though, where I mimic actors on television.
Yes, I remember
So
that.
yeah, so it's like I'll watch a movie or TV show, and I won't know the words or the dialogue or what's about to happen in the movie, but I'll like mimic the actor's face and motions while I'm watching a movie that I've never even seen before. It's weird. I don't know if I've done it in a while. I don't think I have. Usually someone catches me doing it. I could do it without even really realizing it, but I don't think I've done it in a while. But
So, was someone like catching you in the middle of Avengers Endgame, just reciting the words like, "Wait, dude, this is the first showing. You've seen this before?"
right, but it doesn't look like I know the words. You can just tell like I'm not mimicking that loud. I'm like mumbling. This is weird. Like if they shift their eyes a certain way, I'll shift my eyes a certain way. It's weird. What I do like doing? I do like acting to actors when I want you like if I want to like those times I think like if I want an actor to perform something a certain way, I like acting like that. Yeah, like do it like this, and I'll act out how I want you to do it. But acting to really act, I think you have to be okay with being vulnerable in front of the camera, in front of the audience, and I'm not that comfortable with that. I mean, I could be, but yeah,
So, have you ever like almost been in a school play?
I was a mummy in a school play once.
Nice.
Um, and the movie like was like a fan of Elvis, so I like would dance like Elvis as a mummy. It was cool. It was very entertaining. I really did enjoy entertaining people though. Like I said, you asked me if I'm interested in acting, not necessarily, but if it's a role I think is really entertaining, I think I like. I guess I'd be into it. I'd be open to it, but it's not something that I'm pursuing or seeking like that, Um, but I did act in like I don't know what the name of the school play. I was like fifth grade or something like that.
Was the costume itchy?
Nah, man, I was wrapped in a bunch of toilet tissue.
One
They
play.
just wrapped me. They just wrapped me in toilet tissue from head to toe, and I was walking like a mummy in front of the whole school, and was like dancing like Elvis, and you know, it was
Yeah,
weird. But it was fun. I enjoyed myself.
but the real question is, was it one ply or was it two ply?
I don't know, man. It might have been two because it stayed on me the whole time. It didn't rip when I was dancing, so yeah, I'm guessing it was two ply.
Nice, nice. You got that two ply.
Yeah, it was cool.
Nice. In the beginning of 2020, if you kept that two-ply, you would have been rich. It was like Bitcoin.
Yeah, you're right. We're going crazy over there, man. I was like, man, it's just like I
Like,
walked in Walmart at the beginning of the pandemic, and like the entire toilet tissue, it was just
no,
wiped out. Like it was like, yeah, like it was apocalypse. Like, it's not apocalypse if people like you're gonna be able to go back outside again. But
like,
you know,
nah, mask, nah, food and water. I mean, you don't
yeah,
need that. Toilet paper,
toilet
though.
tissue. Yeah, don't ever want to get caught without it. That's what you think about it. Think how funny it is. In the midst of a pandemic, people's fear was running out of toilet paper.
Not running
I
out
ain't
of
gonna lie.
food, water.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people got water, but it was like, listen, no matter what, we have to have toilet paper. Think about that. Lets you know what people's fears truly are.
Well, I mean, come on. Like, what happens when you're in the bathroom and you ain't got no toilet paper?
I
Don't
know,
go
and
to
that's
the
the funny
kid's
part.
house.
I know that's the funny part. I mean, just imagine like, and then you just you're yelling down the hall. Where's the toilet tissue? We're all out. It's like da 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 no.
Oh,
You're like forced to take a shower like soon thereafter. It's funny.
yeah. Now, what is something that you really want to do that you haven't had a chance to do in COVID or in life?
Travel to Europe and Africa, man. That's something I really want to do. Haven't done. I'm definitely gonna travel to Africa. I want to see. I want to travel to West Africa and see like the. Well, of course, I want to see the pyramids, and the Sphinx. That'd be amazing, man. But I definitely want to see. I definitely want to go to West Africa and see the caves where they held slaves before
Mm.
shipping them west across the Atlantic Ocean. I just want to see that, experience that, just like feel the spirits of our ancestors, be in those situations, moments before their lives were forever going to be changed. I think being able to feel and experience that really bring me closer to our ancestral people, and be able to experience an environment that would kind of like, even though I can't go back 400 years, but just 400 years, just put me in that environment. It's almost like, like you hear a story happen in a certain place, you go to that place, it's like you could feel, it's almost like you weren't there what happened, but it's almost like you could feel the spirit of what happened taking place
Yeah,
in that environment. Yeah, like
yeah,
you could just feel the spirit of that. And I think that's something I want to feel.
yeah. Basically,
Um,
you're saying the person was late to set. I mean,
well,
God knows
not
what it is.
necessarily, but imagine like if you've been on a tour, and that's where such and such happened, and you see it, it's like, oh, that's where this happens. Like it's um, I'm sure he's okay. I'm sure Jay will be back momentarily. Oh man, that was funny. What
This,
happened, bro?
this is my stool, and it like one of the rubber bits that keep it stable is off. So
Oh
like it's kind of rocky. So I was at the edge, and it wasn't supported. Don't laugh.
man.
This isn't funny.
Listen, man, I didn't want to bust out laughing out of respect for your show, man, but I was holding that back, bro. That was funny, bro.
It
uh,
literally exited me out. I was like near like stuff to switch tabs to see what's going on YouTube, and it literally just canceled me.
yeah, that was funny, man. I was left here sitting like, well, Jay will be back momentarily. He's running some technical difficulties. However, thank you for joining Jalen Says. I'm the guest, David Nixon, and we'll be right. And then you pop back on. You saved me, bro. Thanks for. 'Cause I was going to run out of stuff to say. I didn't know what to say. I was sitting there looking like, oh, I guess he'll be back. In the meantime,
Well, let's imagine that never happened. And so, yeah, what story would you really want to go back to? Like, what place and time, or what story would you really like to go back to?
Or place in time,
Yeah.
history, or story.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some of the biblical stories, like um, David slaying Goliath, crucifixion of Jesus Christ. I think that'd be a sight to see. Um, I like to see when Malcolm X spoke. That's something I would like to see him speak. I would like to see Jordan play in the like '98 finals when he hit the game winning shot over Byron Scott in Game 6, 1988 NBA Finals. I love to see Kobe drop 81. Um, I like to see Michelangelo, I believe it's paint the ceiling I don't want to get it wrong, but the famous painting where God is reaching out to the man and the man's fingers like I feel like if you're watching this, people know what the painting is. The Sistine Chapel. That's it.
Hmm.
I would love to see the Sistine Chapel, see that take place over time. I like to see gladiators fight. I like to see the pyramids in Egypt being built. Um, yeah.
Mom, this isn't funny. Why are you putting thumbs up?
If I can go back in time in history, witness slavery to try to slay the slaves, I think I'll be honest with you. Moses part the Red Sea. I mean, there's a lot of things. Oh, um, you know what's crazy? I was watching. I don't want to witness this, but I've been doing a lot of research the last couple of days on the Titanic and what happened, how how it sank, what happened to the passengers, what that whole thing was like. It's not something. It's not something I want to see, but it'd be interesting to see. Like, dang, that really happened. Because like we lost our lives. It's a very tragic event. But in the event that it did happen, I think it was very. This is one of those stories that everybody still talks about. Everybody still knows. Like, are you aware of the Titanic? The Titanic?
Hmm?
Yeah. I said, are you aware of the Titanic?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
The biggest ship in the world.
At
Think.
least at the time, 1912.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. A lot of different places, times in history. I like to see Tom Brady in the Super Bowl against the Falcons like on the field. I mean, I saw the game, but I like to be at the field when it happened. Or see, I don't know, see my mother's face when I was being born, or something. See that whole process. If I can go back, I mean, I go back in like third person. I go back as myself now, then, or like maybe when I was a kid and I'd make like dumb mistakes with girls or something. I would go back like, bro, no, don't. Let me step in. I got you, bro. All right, listen here. Like, maybe I do that. But there's so many different points of time in American history that I'd be interested in seeing um, the forefathers of America like sign the Declaration of Independence. I mean, this a Thurgood Marshall being um, ushered in as a U.S. representative. I mean, I have a lot of answers for that question. But yeah, that's just like I don't know. I probably name like 15, 20 different things. Man.
Wow. We have a lot of audience questions stacking up. So, do you have a vision board and or a bucket list?
Vision board? No, I don't have a vision board, but I need to put one together. What I do, I'm getting closer to putting together a vision board because I know a lot of successful people do that. You have a vision of what you want your life to be in images, and that's something I need to put together, but I don't. But I will put one together. 'Cause I think it's really really important, helping you stay focused. But right now, like like behind my computer, I have things on my wall and goals I need to do in the next week or a couple months. Um, so yeah,
Yes. So, can you explain how reading or writing poetry can influence a director's mindset?
Yeah, I think it allows director and writer to process information and stories differently. I think poetry tells because okay, you could say that. You ever heard the term poetry in motion? You heard it, right? Like, ever seen a film? It's like, oh man, the way he moved his camera was poetry in motion, right? I think reading and writing poetry allows you to process information in an artistic way that is just not so on the nose, right? It's a lot of subtext and innuendo and insinuation that goes into poetry. And I think reading and writing poetry can help a director know how to do a better job at telling stories or conveying information that's just not so on the nose. And if he knows how to do that through the visuals, even better. Like the project you were on, the Underground Railroad, Barry Jenkins I think, did a fantastic job of really. Um, I mean, just the way he filmed it was just poetry, just visual poetry, man. The way they filmed it, the way it was directed, like the way the compositions, the sounds, how they like when it was a traumatic experience. So like say they were outside in the cotton field, you would hear like the crickets and the birds. But say if something happened traumatic to a character in the cotton field, the sound of those crickets and those birds would get louder and louder and louder as the main character is suffering through whatever that person's suffering through. And I think that's visual poetry in itself. So you understand and convey those kind of information artistically through a subtextual context, I think. A strong subtextual context, I think, is a good way that reading and writing poetry can influence a director's mindset.
Are you married with kids?
No, I'm not. I'm single, not married, don't have any kids.
If you would have kids, what would you think their career paths would be?
I don't know. Probably filmmaking, I think, or some type of uh, artistic avenue. You know, I wouldn't mind having a son that was in like F1 racing. That'd be dope. That'd be really cool. Like my son's like, Dad, I want to be a race car driver. Like, all right, bet, let's do this. I think that'd be cool. Maybe a lawyer. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have any kids. And I think a lot about the kind of people my children will be will have a lot to do with like who my wife is and the mother of children are. So
So, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And do you have any other career paths that you'll do in the next 5 years?
yeah, next 5 years, man, I can see myself directing television. If not directing television, like right on the cusp of it, and commercials as well. So I can see myself directing television, directing commercials. Um, but that's where I'm headed. If anything, in 5 years, I just want to just be established as an individual, as a man, and be happy and comfortable where I am, where I'm going. Not that I'm not now, but just be more mature and more sound as time goes on. But yeah, like directing television commercial, that's gotta be what happens, man.
So, you said you do a little bit of painting, a little bit of art. So, what is your favorite art piece that you did or someone else did? Actually, both.
Hmm. Hmm. My favorite art piece, man. I did a painting over here that I like a lot. They have the name's abstract. Um, I don't know. My favorite art piece. I don't know. I think I've done drawings before in the past. I thought I was really proud of. I think probably some of my favorite art pieces is stuff I did when I was a kid. You know what? I'd say one of my favorite pieces of art I've ever done. I was a kid. I was like 13, 14. And I drew with pen a picture of my father holding me when I was a baby, and I called it father and son. And I did that with a pen at like 12, 13 years old, and I was like really like I had cross hatching, shadowing, and it looked just like me and my father. It was like that's probably my favorite piece of art that I've done. Probably more so than any drawing and painting. Now, I mean, of course, my films, I would definitely my film, my commercials, my music videos up there. But as far as like drawing and painting, uh, that would be, I think, my favorite piece of work.
Do you enjoy poetry and films. You mentioned movies as poetry, motion, film, cardboard, comics, especially made for love. Check it out. So, do you enjoy films from, not from the States, other languages?
I would say yes, but I don't watch enough foreign films. I don't watch enough foreign films to say yes. Um, but I need to start watching more. I think because some Barry Jenkins said when he was in film school, he would realize a lot of his peers would watch all the typical American directors, Spielberg, the Nolans, this and that, Quentin Tarantino's. But he realized they were all making like similar kind of content. So he
Mm.
took it amongst himself um, to watch a lot more foreign films. And he feels like that really helped influence him as a director, which I think it does too, because just the way he paces his movies and the way he conveys information through his compositions and his writing and character placement and his character development and how he shows that. He does a really good job at showing, not telling, like a really good job. I think that comes from the studying of foreign films. That's what I think. But I don't watch enough foreign films to be honest with you.
Hmm.
So
So, what next resume asked, what did you say about the enslaved?
I said a lot of things. I don't. I said I like to go see the caves in which the slaves were held before being shipped to America in West Africa. I like to see that. Um, I was talking about the Underground Railroad. Something I was watching recently. I commented on that. Um, but yeah, I mean that's a lot of things. To be honest. I each have to be a little more specific.
So, I also saw you had a dance video.
A dance video.
Yes,
What do you mean?
your dance video
I don't know which dance video you're referring to.
when you're dancing on your Facebook page.
Oh, what was I doing? What was I doing in there? Was it just me? Was it other people? What?
Do you want me to pull it up?
Sure, you can.
Now looking at it, it wasn't him. It wasn't him. Mommy. First, you laugh at me falling. Thank you very much. And okay, so back to a question that I have to ask. So, like a really long time later, like 100 years, where do you want people to look at you as?
100 years?
Yes.
If I could leave an impact on this world that lasts 100 years, fantastic. But that's not really a goal of mine, honestly. I think my biggest goal really is to leave an impact on my close family and friends that I have in my life. If my memory could live on 100 years through them, then yeah, that'd be dope. But to try and influence the world for the next 100 years, that's not really. I'm not really seeking that. I mean, if I could do that through my profession of filmmaking, hey, fantastic. But it's not something I'm after. It's not really a goal of mine. Thing. I just feel like that's. I don't know if anybody who's ever lasted 100 years in human history was trying to. I mean, you can't say that. There's definitely people I feel like in the entertainment industry who's like, I want this to last next 100 years. But as of right now, I'm not one of them. I don't want to put that kind of pressure on myself. Like, I want to be known for the next 100 years. I just want to put. I just want to do right by myself and the people around me, and do right by people I work with, and make good art. And I think if it starts there, then 100, 200, 300 years is. I mean, I think if that's your foundation, then 100 years being known for something, what you do is possible. So,
Do you watch extreme fighting?
MMA every now and then, but not all the time. Yeah, uh, I think I probably want to see gladiators fighting because I love the movie called Gladiator by Ridley Scott. And it just really see her like, man, these people in this beautifully made Coliseum thousand years ago, are really enjoy seeing people kill each other. Just seeing the humanity or maybe lack thereof for
Hmm.
seeing people actually fight to the death at other people's expense of entertainment. I think that's just and to seeing the culture, seeing how people talk, how people perceived and just the lifestyle and how they interact with one another. I think that'd be some a sight.
So, do you dance or do you like dancing?
I mean, I like dancing, but I don't like dance. I go to the club. If I'm feeling the vibe, I bust a couple moves here and there, nice little spin. You know what I mean? But I'm not out here going hard. Um, I really enjoyed strolling. I was in the National RA Band Fraternity, Kappa Kappa Psi. When I attended Tuskegee University, and we did this thing. He stepped and we strolled, and I really enjoyed doing that. I was real smooth. I really enjoyed doing it with my fellow frat brothers. But as far as like, do I dance? Yeah, but not like for real, for real. I wish I could, if I was, if I could, some Chris Brown type stuff, doing front flips on beat, and I love to be able to do that. I probably could if I really tried at a younger age, but that wasn't my problem.
So, what's another hobby, not like a business thing that you like to do?
Say that one more time. Another hobby like you?
Yeah.
Mm, I think eventually want to get into gardening. That sounds
Ah,
crazy. But yeah, I think that'd be nice. Um, that's when I get my own house. You know, I think that'd be a peaceful, therapeutic activity to involve in.
you like fishing? Because I'm learning how to garden, and I'm also gonna learn how to fish.
Yeah, fishing too. I like to exercise my Second Amendment right, hit the gun range every now and then. I like to be like, ooh, and like shoot like the disc. That'd be dope. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, that'd be hard. I would want to do that. I want to be an excellent marksman. With a weapon, a firearm. That'd be something I need to do.
Nice, nice, nice. So, have you ever went fishing?
Yeah, for sure. I grew up in Tennessee between the ages of 6 and 12. Yeah, I went fishing on several occasions. I mean, I enjoyed the act of fishing. I didn't enjoy the act of like grabbing the fish and taking the hook out of the mouth.
And gutting it,
Yeah,
and
it was squirmy and man.
nailing
But
it,
and not only squirmy, it would like just frantically just fighting
flop
for their lives.
around.
Yeah, I did the same thing if I were them. So it was like but the act of actually fishing
Can't
and having
breathe.
patience to sit and wait, and I think fishing teaches you patience and it teaches
Yeah,
you how to like seize the moment because when the fish does grab into your hook, you gotta like you gotta do what it takes
yeah,
to bring that thing in. So it takes you. I think it teaches you patience and also the art of really knowing how to seize the moment when that moment comes
yeah,
in your life, whatever it may be.
yeah. But yeah, if I was a fish, I'd probably flop around trying to call the fish ambulance or the fish Olymps and try and call for help. But I mean, I don't know what's going through their head. Maybe they're happy they're suffocating from, loss of water. But
Yeah, I imagine that's something they really wanted when they woke up in the morning to be on the edge of death.
yeah, definitely. But before you have to go, because it's almost been an hour, can you tell us your information while I show some cool pictures?
Yeah, for sure. David Nixon Jr. on Facebook. David Nixon Jr. on Instagram, or that. I mean, if you can search my name on Instagram, it's the Nix Effect. THE_NIX_EFFECT. Twitter, Fly Guy 4. Fly underscore guy underscore number 4. And yeah, Facebook, David Nixon Jr., and LinkedIn, David Nixon Jr. as well. So yeah, I mean, that's my social media information. Feel free to reach out. These are some BTS photos from the production we were on, Jalen. Got me on the camera, started director of photography, Brian Bradley.
Yeah.
You see me, I'm saying, fresh, looking
Walk
fresh.
away. That walk away.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
From our BTS photographer, Jonas Stewart. Yeah, that's our grip. Vinny, something. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being on here.
Hey man, thanks for having me. I think you're very talented with a bright future, and I think you have a knack for finding great work because you've already been in two huge productions that will carry on for some time. And I think for you to associate yourself and your show with me, so definitely a blessing and an honor. I definitely appreciate that.
Well, thank you for coming on, and also thank you for casting me in the new movie Lump, coming out very, very, very soon. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
Very
man,
much.
for sure. Hey man, you were the right person for the job, so thank you for being the right person.
Thank you. Well, thank you for coming on, and can you stay for a little minute while we chat in the back room?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Thank you. And thank you to the wonderful audience out there in the audience. Thank you guys a lot. And I'm okay, by the way, that fall wasn't that hard. But if you didn't already, subscribe, hit the bell, like the video, because that supports me a lot, helps me a lot, it helps me grow, gets this video out to more people. Thank you a lot. If you want to donate, Cash App $ Jalen says that helps me with a lot of stuff that we're doing, more live shows, more outdoor live shows, more sports event live shows. By the way, speaking of sports event live shows, tomorrow, 8 a.m. EST, I will be on Power 1081. Going to be doing some incredible stuff, radio. Yes, incredible. More news on that on my Facebook, Jalen Aliyu, JALEN ALIYU. And we're now going to start doing sponsorships. So if you want to, you could DM us at Jalen Aliyu, Facebook. And thank you guys a lot. And by the way, shout out to Boot Life. Thank you a lot for your support. You've been supporting me a lot. It's helping me a lot. Thank you a lot. And their Gmail is info@bootlifeclothing.com. Thank you a lot for this. Thank you a lot. And Jalen Says TV, now live also for any content creators, whatever you do. If you do photos, short films, interviewing, music, whatever you do, you could do basically anything. And it's everywhere on Fire Stick, Samsung, iOS, Apple TV, Samsung TV. It's basically on everything, and it's way cheaper than a lot of things on the market. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for the claps. Thank you for the claps. Stay tuned for that. And just, guys, stay tuned for my next episode. Thank you. Yes, www.power1089.com. Yes. And thank you guys a lot, and stay tuned to the next episode.